Hopefully we're here. Hello. Yeah. Quite an afternoon. And not altogether rewilding, but I was doing a little bit, in a sense, because I was out in the garden, and my garden is a wildlife and environmental garden. So, has anybody out there got any questions about rewilding? Because I know where I'd like to go, but I'd also like to go where anybody decides they'd like to go with a question. So if you're there and you've got a question on rewilding, bung it up and let's see where we're going. But in the meantime, I'm going to start. I've wanted to rewild things and been into it, well, things, places, the whole earth if I could, all my life. I love being out in the wild world as it is, as it wishes to be. It may not always be how you might like it, how it might appear in a House and Garden magazine or an RHS flower show or anything like that. Although, I must admit, Tatton Park was very good this year. It was only a little border, but it was all wildflowers, and they gave it a gold medal. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Because if somebody like the Royal Horticultural Society will actually give a gold medal to a garden that is full of what most people call weeds, I think getting somewhere. There is a chance for change. And there's a double chance for change there, because many people will do something if they've got an authority figure who's saying, yes, we can do this. And the Royal Horticultural Society in Britain, or for British people, British gardeners, is big deal. If they say something, we probably believe it. And we're probably right a lot of the time. The people who work there, the people who write there, the people who garden there, and the people who garden at their shows, and I've been one. I was one 3 years running. Yes, I got medals for my gardens too. Those people do know what they're talking about. But of course, they're not always talking about rewilding. And until maybe the last 10, maybe 20 years, people didn't talk about rewilding. Wildlife gardens came in and started to get to be liked really with a chap called P. Dudolf, a Dutchman, who, well, he made what have been called prairie gardens. And also our Beth Chatto over in Essex, her garden was very nature-based. It was stylized, is stylized, sorry, I shouldn't say was, but it was full of wild things or variations on wild plants that were good pollinators, that were good for birds, that were good for all the insects, and the butterflies could feed on them and all this kind of thing. And also that actually helped the plants around them. Most of them do, a lot of them do. And that's something people probably don't realise, that plants help each other. They actually do work together. Sometimes it's sort of like a difficult one. Grass is a difficult one because it is a great survivor. And if you've had a lawn through drought and you cut it, you've seen that you end up with apparently nothing, after a 3 months drought, which we had about 3 or 4 years ago. And then rain, 2 days later, you've got a lawn. That's quite some survival trick for grass. And it is very, very good at it. It also does all sorts of things with itself to stop other creatures eating it when it doesn't want to be eaten, and to stop other creatures not using its seeds in particular ways. So it makes sure that mostly its seeds tend to go, say, right through a bird and come out at the other end in a nice little dollop of dung, so that it's even got a starter for life. Hello, Willow. Yes, well done on you. And how do you find that the weeds are doing, Willow? How is it coming along? Because I do that, and I only take out things when they're tending to smother something else, or when they're going to get ahead of everything else and, in that sense, push everything else out. But weeds themselves, weeds are a whole sort of thing, actually. You set me off with it. Do come in and shut me up if you want to. Weeds, we used to call them worts. Sometimes W-U-R-T, more often W-Y-R-T. Yep, food and wild medicines. And they are, and they were. And they still are. I mean, I don't know how many of you eat Jack by the Hedge, which is a mustard, in your salad, or dandelion leaves in your salad, for instance, or various wildflowers. And borage is lovely in your salad, for instance. So they are good, and they will help your gut because you're eating them. And we're talking this morning with Fiona, let your food be your medicine and your medicine be your food. And that is one of the ways of it. But even trying to think, probably, say in the 1920s and 30s, yeah, I eat herb Robert too, Leslie. I haven't tried it in a smoothie. That's a good idea. I shall have a go at that. But I'm going to talk about dandelions for a minute. They're actually my favourite sunflower. I like them much better than the big sunflowers. And they come out, at the beginning of spring and carry through summer. And my garden is just golden. All the grass areas is just golden with dandelions. And until about the 1930s, I'd say, the local villages and the gardeners in them, and my uncle was one of those. And yes, they're brilliant for bees, Lexi. The local gardeners would take their dandelions to shows and get prizes for them. And there were dandelion fetes in the countryside. And, the town would be having its annual dandelion fair. And they were really sort of big deal. And then somebody, and I haven't yet worked out who, I've got to work this out because Trevor, my publisher, has got me doing a book on environmental gardens, which I'm supposed to send him the whole manuscript for come autumn or Samhain or something. So help. Anyway, I must look up how dandelions became public enemy number one. I mean, probably we've all seen the horrible dandelion weed killer adverts on TV, and it just makes me cringe. It's it's another form of cruelty to me. Maybe I'm weird, but it is. And now, because of that, yeah, as you say, Lexi, your neighbours, if they see your garden full of dandelions, say, ooh, panic, and they practically come out and spray it for you, which is fairly revolting. But they've sort of got unfashionable when they used to be, under 100 years ago. They were a big deal, real thing. And little things like wild geraniums, like the herb Robert you were talking about, Leslie, all that kind of thing, they are part of foraging food. And you must be careful, but I've got to put this one in right now. Anything in the wild carrot family, if you don't know what you're doing, don't even try to forage it. And I really mean it, because hemlock is a carrot. and every bit of hemlock is poisonous, and there ain't a lot you can do about it if you take it. So please don't forage anything that looks like or is part of the carrot family. If you decide to go foraging, get some help. There's a bloke called Fred in Somerset who's really brilliant, but there are people all over who are really good foragers and really know their plants. So go with somebody like that and read the books and do both and learn about the plants. I mean, I'm terrible with mushrooms. I'm terrified of eating mushrooms unless I'm with somebody who knows mushrooms, because I know that I could kill myself with something that looks like something that I would normally even buy in a shop. So I have to be careful. And I quite agree with you, Lexi. Killing dandelions is horrible. And yes, they do give us many, many gifts. But let's head in to the rewilding again. Because allowing weeds in your garden, remember that phrase, allowing weeds in your garden, this is going to be important in a minute, is something that people tend to go, oh, that's a bit radical, isn't it? And of course, you're not going to make any money for the garden centres unless they all start growing weeds, which they could. So it's difficult. And why do you want to do it is another sort of feel. Probably most of us here want to do it because we know that not only are they food and medicine for us, but they're food for the soil itself, the plants around them, and all the insects and birds and animals that we share planet Earth with. One of the things that annoys me with, every now and again I try and be part of Rewilding Britain or one of the various sort of societies, organisations that goes on about rewilding. And I always run away, at least I always have so far, because they all come from the point of view that we can rewild the earth. We humans. I mean, excuse my language, but we fucked it up in the first place. So why are we going to do it right? What is going to make us do it right? So we come from this thing of control. We will do it. We will plant wildflower seeds in here. We will plant native hedging over there. Not that I'm saying any of that is wrong, but we will make it better. It's a big mistake in life, let alone rewilding, although that is life. We don't control anything. And yeah, right on indeed, Natalie. We don't control anything. I was watching, I cannot remember, I don't actually watch TV very much, but my husband likes to watch TV. So very often it's sort of going zzz in the background when I'm doing something else. And there was this program about, I remember it was about some lunatic who was trying to build some weird, and he has built it. They built this sort of weird bendy pair of skyscrapers with a bridge across between them on East River in New York. And you sort of go, the pictures are amazing. But you sort of go, really? And New York is subject to hurricanes and high winds and flooding. And this is right on the bank of the East River, which floods. So these guys were talking about controlling hurricanes. I must admit, I did blink. I actually came out of what I was doing at the time and went, what? I mean, can you imagine trying to control a hurricane? It's like people think they can control a volcano, or that they can control earthquakes or floods or tsunamis. You sort of go, no, Excuse me, hello? Oh, we can't even... No, I better not go there. Remind me sometime to talk about controlling rain, will you? But anyway, we can't control rain. We can't control when we get a cold or not. We can't control anything, okay? We can help things along, but we can't control them. You can... Well, if you will go out and try and be a sailboat in the middle of your washing line, wherever your washing line is, Willow, there you go. It's like a map. You know, when you've got a big ordnance survey map and you're out there on the top of the moor trying to find out where you are and there's a hell of a wind blowing. Map. Anyway, so we can't control things, but we like to think we can. So we want to control how things are rewilded, and we can rewild this bit, but we need to not rewild that bit because the farmers want to grow billions of tons of potatoes or grain or something in it. Whether or not that was actually what the ground wanted to grow, nobody actually knows, because unless it's somebody like me or possibly you going along there and saying, "Did you really want to grow this corn?" And the ground goes, "No, but I'm sort of stuck with it. I've been forced. I'm being fed all this stuff and I can't stop. I can't help myself." So then we got to a root for me, big root of the problem. How many people do you know who, when they go out in their garden, as I was today, and I got some lovely Russian sage to plant, which is ever so good for bees and all sorts of things like that, and it looks ever so pretty too. And I got these 3 little pots, and so going out into the area which I knew they wanted to be in, and I said, "Okay, guys," talking to the garden, "where do these guys want to go? Where do you want them to go, garden spirit? And to the 3 Perovskaya, where would you like to go?" And they didn't go where I'd originally thought they would. Surprise, surprise. Not anymore. I've been doing things far too long to be surprised at that. But there we were. So, oh, I thought you were going to go there. No, we want to be over here. And the bed, it's a meadow. So it's not a bed, it's a meadow. And the meadow was saying, "Yes, yes, me, come here, look, this is even nice space." And my current garden is on very, very, very rocky soil. It's a little bit like gardening in a quarry. There is a bit of topsoil, and there's getting to be more topsoil where I need topsoil because I'm putting loads of compost on it and I'm putting loads of muck on it. And I've got a friend down the road who keeps horses, and so I get super fresh horse muck from her. And I know that she doesn't feed any rubbish into her horses, so it's all nice stuff. So where I want topsoil, I'm gradually helping the ground create it. Meadows, you very often don't want topsoil because too much goodness, and you just end up with a rank grass, and the little wildflowers can't make it because they don't. That's not where they grow naturally. So you're not starving them. You would actually be sort of killing them with kindness to put too much stuff in. So anyway, there I was with my 3 little pots. And they said, "Come over here." So I went over here and there was a space. There were actually sort of 3 spaces, and they were about yay apart, which was good because then they look like something, because the 3 of them will be together. They will grow and spread. But they're not so close together. They're going, go away, which you can't do either. And I could dig holes the right size for these little plants in those places. I got one slightly wrong, and I tried to dig into another place, and boing, I hit stones, just like that. I have to use a mattock because that's the only way you're going to get in. And so boing, mattock sort of shoots backwards. and didn't hit me. It was okay. So, and then I sort of got from the ground, over here, silly. I sort of moved about 6 inches. I could almost dig it with my hands. Now, I know this because I've been doing this all my life, and me mum and dad did it before, and my aunts and uncles did it before, and the people we knew in the village where I grew up did it as well. So it was normal that, well, Gran knows what to do. What are you fussing about? You put it in the wrong place, haven't you? It won't grow though. Not unless you really mess with it. And I mean, what do you want to mess with it for when it can grow perfectly well if you just move it along a little bit? This is how it used to be with my uncle, who was a really good gardener. And how many people actually do that? I've also trained as a garden designer. This is how I ended up with 3 show gardens at Hampton Court. I don't do it because I would probably be locked up in jail for killing the clients. I didn't realise this when I started. I'm really glad I did it because it was ever so useful in all sorts of other ways. I learned a lot. But you go along to somebody and there they are, for instance. They've got this lovely garden, but it's all alkali soil. And they want to grow rhododendrons and azaleas and camellias and things in it. Those plants don't. They like acid soil. That's what they grow on naturally in the wild. And these people try their best to make them grow into a lovely shrubbery. And they want you to do this. And at first I was trying to explain this. No, we want rhododendron shrubbery over there. We want yellow ones and purple ones and pink ones. And I had to stop almost immediately. I did make 3 or 4 gardens with people who had a minor amount of sense. But I can't deal with the ordinary person because once they start insisting on trying to make nature do what it doesn't want to do, I just want to kill them. This is not a good idea. Lots of ways. I'm sure you agree with me. Well, you probably have a list of people that you wish it wasn't, and you could, but we won't go. So my thing about rewilding is that you need to learn to ask nature what she wants. And a bit like you with your sheets, Willow. I haven't got sheets. I just got ordinary washing out this morning. I was hanging it up, and when I don't normally have to fight with things, thank goodness, but I'm hanging things up on my washing line. But I'm thinking about things, and I knew that, other will want me to talk about rewilding tonight. So I thought, well, okay, fine. And they popped this idea into me. Now, hands up who hasn't had this happen to them. Your Aunt Matilda or whoever it is, or your grandmother or Uncle Fred or whatever, they want to give you a present, Christmas present, say. And every bloody year, it's a pair of sodding socks. They don't ask you. They think, oh, yes, you really like these socks. They've got Father Christmas or an elephant or something on them. And whatever it is not your scene. And you actually have 3 drawers full of socks. And you actually don't need socks that much. And when you do want socks, you don't want those sort of socks anyway. But Aunt Matilda or Uncle Fred, they never ask you. They just send you another pair of socks. Now, when you decide that you are going to do X in your garden, or you're going to rewild this piece of land like that, do you see a slight similarity to the behaviour of Aunt Matilda and Uncle Fred, who didn't ask you what you wanted for Christmas? They just dumped socks on you. And you're not asking the earth what she wants. You're just dumping the equivalent of socks on her. For me, that's the most important thing. Yes, Earth needs to rewild herself, and she's actually very good at doing it. And she's actually got lots and lots of help in animals and plants who will really do it for her, with her. They do what she needs in their place. And they don't, she wouldn't try to put rhododendrons into an alkali soil. She wouldn't even think about it. It wouldn't even occur to her to do that. She would put things that wanted to grow there that really liked that kind of soil. And in the acid peat bog area, she would be able to grow the acid-loving plants. So, when we talk about rewilding, and this goes for all the big organisations from, Greenpeace and Friends of the Earth down, Rewilding Britain, Rewilding Scotland, Rewilding Timbuktu, or wherever, these people need to get out of academics, get out of books, get out of their own heads, really, and start learning to watch and listen and speak with Mother Earth and the spiritual place where you happen to be working. I mean, my garden's got a spiritual place. I'm sure all of yours have. And it will talk to me. It doesn't come and stick its nose in my face and talk to me. Well, it does now, but it wouldn't to start off with. It would wait until I said, hi, I know there's a spiritual place around there somewhere. Could you just sort of give me a sign? Show me that you're there? Yeah, Lily, yeah. And your sign happens, all of a sudden there's a robin right beside you, or a butterfly goes past, or a dragonfly, or a bee, or you suddenly notice that actually that patch there is the most lovely geranium. Something, you get a sign. And that can start you off. Now, in the old ways that I write about and teach and all that, we've got some bloody good ways of helping people get the hang of it. And certainly with the apprenticeship, we can get people miles along with it. It really works because I'm working directly with with some people, as I won't ever have any more than 8 people because I just can't handle it. And they probably can't handle me anymore. But no, I can do that, but it's small. And then what I hope and what has happened ever since I've been teaching is that my students go out and then they do it in their way and help people to learn. I'm trying to work a way of getting some of the basics out there better. They are there on Dear Trod's Tribe, but you need more than that. You need more support than that. It's not really that easy just to do it on your own. So I'm working on this new way of sort of like master classes of doing the Earth Sun. I did one 2 or 3 weeks ago, and this tells you more about what the Earth Sun is about. But I want to build a group like this or something. But give me a chance because I've got so many things to do. And give me a chance with this and I will get it there. I'm hoping that I will be able to get it there for next year. Possibly slightly before, but next year. But we need to learn to ask. And that is asking is about you rewilding yourself. Because unless we feel the wildness inside, and we've all got wildness inside, unless we feel that wildness and know it and like it, and it doesn't scare us most of the time, we can't respond properly to all the natural world. We respond wrongly. A fox comes down the lane or up the lane towards you, maybe jumps out of the hedge in front of you. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous. And how many of you might conceivably go, oh, look, there's a fox at 150 decibels. There wouldn't be a fox. It would have gone. How many of you can just hold your breath in, stand still, freeze, and watch, and not reach for your phone, for your camera? Just be there. It's quite a thing. And it's hard because I do know you go, ah! I don't squeak, but you want to squeak. Somebody was talking the other day about herons and how herons will land in a tree. Now, herons have got some bloody great long legs. They're quite big beasts or birds. But they can land in a tree. And it looks like it shouldn't be possible. And they do. And she'd been seeing quite a lot of them recently. Storks are the same sort of thing, only even bigger. And she was seeing them. And she's now got it. That she can just go and watch. And part of her has also learned, she's one of my students, has also learned that she can actually send a little query thread to the heron and say, I'd love to take a photograph. Would that be all right? It's much faster than that. And she'll get the answer back, sort of yes or no. And if there's a yes, she can very slowly reach into her pocket and take out her phone and take the shot. But you must learn to be still. You must learn to be present with the creature, or the tree, or the fish, or the ocean, or wherever you are. And you have to learn to be there with them, not expecting them to come back and be like you want them to be. You have to go to them and say, show me how it's acceptable for me to be here. Again, when you actually do the question, it's much faster than that, but it does. And nobody gets taught this. Very rarely does this get actually talked of in rewilding circles. They usually talk about, oh, well, we need lots and lots of birch trees because they're a starter tree. And nobody sort of asks, do birch trees really do it in this land, or or does another tree do it better? And that's not even asking the land. That's asking about academic wisdom stuff, book stuff. And the thought of actually going and asking the land, asking this pond. In Herefordshire, they've been opening up and working with the old ice lakes. And they've actually done a good job. So I think somebody's actually been feeling into the place before they go and dump things in it. But the thought of actually asking is very hard. And people very often, I mean, if you talk about it, some people that I'm sure you all know, they go, oh, don't be silly, they can't understand you. They can't answer you. How can you learn anything from a tree? Well, probably several of you have at least heard of, if not read, the Hidden Lives of Trees by the German woodsman, which is brilliant. So you actually know that they can and they do, and a bit about how they do it. And somebody who did a lot of rewilding, she started about 20 years ago. I mean, they're horrendously rich. They're millionaires and Lord backside and all the rest of it. But the woman is Isabella Tree. And she's written her lovely book, Wilding, which is how they did it. And they did it on hundreds and thousands of acres. And it's gorgeous. A friend of mine's just been there and said, yes, it is. And you've probably seen, or you may have seen on my Facebook page, I talking about this, or talking with these people two girls who run a small holding, a croft, up on the Cairngorms. And they've been doing it for about 3 years, and they're doing very well. And they're actually farming as well as rewilding. It's all part of the same thing. And what these people have done, and what I think you're doing, and what just looking at some of the things you said, is they don't do anything to start with. They sit on their hands and they watch, and they don't mow. And what comes up, what plants are already there, what seeds are already there in your grass that want to come up, if only you get off that bloody mower. So you have to spend quite a lot of time doing nothing. It's creative nothing. It's also, again, very hard because you want things to happen and you want it to look like this. And you can just imagine when there's a whole load of bluebells under those trees. And you have to go, oh. And you can go and look in books for potential wildflowers and go and look on Google for places where you might be able to get wildflowers and all this kind of thing, and not do it yet. And learn to wait. We're not good at waiting, are we? It's not a skill we've ever been taught. It's like, instant this and instant that. Yes, we can make that happen. And I mean, think of all the gardening programs that were, make over your garden in a weekend. Well, yes, you can produce something that looks pretty. But I mean, what's it going to be like in 3 weeks' time or 3 months' time? Whole different story. It's about finding that wildness in yourself that can respond, that can reach out and touch the grass and touch the earth and touch the trees and reach up and touch the clouds when they're coming to rain on your garden, which is a great thing for them to do. Or the sunshine when it's coming to warm the soil and get things going, and warm up the water in the pond so that the lilies can get going. And that part is quite wild. That part is not the part that is going to conform well with normality and council regulations and government regulations and this sort of thing. It's the part that's going to go, why? What? Who? I'm sure you have it. And it's okay to be that. Learning to be that is hard because you have to get over all the things that people are going to tell you aren't any good and that you shouldn't be doing that. And anyway, you're daft and you've got voices in your head if you think the tree's talking to you. It's hard, but it's worth it. It is so worth it. One of the things that I'm really working on right now is how to get what I think it'll be is like a collection of working webinars on rewilding yourself, rewilding your heart. And we'll be going outside and doing things at the same time, or you will. And I don't think it's going to happen until the new year because I've just got new students in. I've just got new Rainbow Warriors coming along, and I've got this blooming gardening book that Trevor's going to kill me for if I don't get out there. And I've also got people looking at the novel saying, get this going, finish it, 50,000 words in. Yes, well, okay, what about the other 50,000? And so there's a lot of things happening, and my own garden, which needs me and wants me. And my veg garden is attacking me at the moment because it's getting into its changeover where I grow a lot of salad and fruit. And so the summer salad plants are sort of like nearly done their stuff. And the winter salad plants, some of which are seedlings, are going to need somewhere to go in, in the next 4 or 5 weeks. So I'm sorting all that together. And then there's got to be place for the seeds for the salad stuff to go in. And I've got to sort the ground for that, because they won't like it if it's all full of nettles and couch grass. They won't do it. They can't, because they've got too much competition. So you have to discuss all that with them. So there's a lot for me to do. So I won't be getting these webinars together, I don't think, until the new year, which probably means by the time I've got over midwinter and all this sort of thing, it'll probably mean things will start about Imulk next year. That's 1st February. So if you're interested in that, put a comment in this thing, and I'll make a list of everybody who's interested. And then, when the things are going, I'll say, right, you guys, is up and running now? Do you want to come? And sorry, I can't do them for free, but we will work on something that will work out for you all. I think I'm going to stop there. Hi, Salah. Yes, Salah. Yes, right. All of you, if you want to come on them, put a comment in, and I will get a list together. And then when things happen about next Imulk, I will say, right, we're ready. Sign up, guys. There won't be millions of you, but I can probably do sort of like more than 8. And oh God, it's all happening. Shit. Why did I say that? Oh, I'm all right. Oh, okay, you're all doing it. So I'll make this list up, and it gives you time to get over Christmas and midwinter and all the rest of it as well. And we will go for it to start with Imulk. And we will enjoy ourselves with that. So, but I'm going to be talking about it more, and I'm going to be popping things up. Oh, and if you haven't seen it, the other Rewilding thing, which is absolutely brilliant, and on my Wise Woman site, is the piece about Monk's Wood in Cambridgeshire. Now, Monk's Wood it's more now, but it started off as, oh, right, okay. Monk's Wood started off as about 12 acres. And somebody got the idea, you can read all about it in the article that's up there. Somebody got the idea, well, what would actually happen to this ground? It was a ploughed field when it started. What would actually happen to this land if we just went away and didn't do anything? So they went away and didn't do anything for 60 years, 60 years. It was going that long. And they published this article. It was quite a good one in the I think it was the Groniad. They published this article with pictures about what it's like now. And it's absolute paradise. And people did like go and look from the outside and see what happened. And the fascinating thing about this, and this is part of what we'll be doing in Rewilding Your Heart, is that it starts off as a complete mess. It's covered in brambles and bindweed and everything else like that, and sticky willy and all the stuff. And through what looks like hell's delight of a mess, actually helps to make the place for the new trees. One of the things it does, for instance, is all of that stops critters like deer, who really like eating young trees. It stops them eating them because you can't get to them. And the trees make it slowly under all this great heap of bramble and stuff. So the first trees come up, hawthorn, birch, whatever. And then they make a canopy. And more things come up. Wildflowers can now come up. And the deer don't go there. And so bigger trees, the little oak trees, can start to grow. And then they push their way through the smaller trees, and they make the whole place from the ground up, literally. And yes, I'm getting it all together. This is what we're going to do. We're going to make it from the ground up inside ourselves, and at the same time learn how nature works of herself without us, how she does this. And for goodness sake, she's been doing it for 4.5 billion years. She's a bit of a bloody expert. We ought to listen. Okay, people, I need tea. I'm going. I shall see you all next week at the new time of about 6:30. And please, anybody else who wants to put their name down for the Rewilding Your Heart course come next Imulk, go for it. Looking forward to seeing you all again. And I'll see you next week. Take care, everybody. Bye.